Football is old, and long before the big stadiums and the flashy contracts, people in England played rough street games with a ball made from animal bladders. There was no rules, no referees, and it usually ended in a fight. In the mid-19th centuries, at the height of the British Empire, public schools and universities began to codify football rules. This was part of a wider Victorian trend of disciplining leisure. These chaotic street pastimes must become regulated sports, and by 1860, the Football Association was created in London. New railways spread this emerging game to industrial towns and ports. The army and colonial administrators and even missionaries started to carry it overseas. Everywhere the empire went, football followed. It was introduced in schools, in army barracks, in clubs. It was cheap to play and easy to understand, and it started to draw big crowds. The spread of football coincides with the same decades that Britain was building and maintaining its global empire. Controlling millions of people couldn't be done with just military force. You needed to manage how people gathered, what they cared about, and where they placed their energy. Football was very useful for that. It creates an intense local tribal loyalty. A match between two towns or two parts of the same city would draw crowds of thousands, and that loyalty could be pointed sideways against the other local group rather than upwards against the colonial or political elite. It gave colonial subjects regular emotional rhythm. Saturday afternoons became a release valve. A working class man could pour out the week's frustration by shouting for his side. At least for a few hours, your biggest issue in life wasn't your poor housing or your low wages or the foreign occupation. It was about the pitch. The timing of this matters. By the late 19th and early 20th century, Britain was facing a lot of labour unrest at home and growing nationalist movements in the colonies. Football's spread coincided with the need to keep large, potentially rebellious populations occupied. By the Second World War, football was deeply embedded into British life across the empire. After the war, Britain was bankrupt and its authority was in decline, and resistance movements were accelerating. And the same qualities that had made football popular in the first place, simplicity, passion, group loyalty, made it the perfect ready-made tool for divide and rule. Unite a small group fiercely while keeping them in rivalry with another small group. That is perfect for people in power who want to prevent any bigger, more dangerous forms of unity